Good morning and thanks for joining us on Sunrise this Tuesday, November 8th, 2016, Election Day. I'm Malcolm Hornsby.
And I'm Christine Sounders. Polls opening in less than an hour for the last and final time of the presidential election.
Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton have both wrapped up their campaigns and will be in New York to await the results of today's historic election. Adrian Bankert and Kenneth Moten have a look at the candidates' final day on the campaign trail.
Early Tuesday morning, Election Day. Donald Trump wrapping a campaign blitz.
So it's now officially Tuesday, November 8th.
There will be a heightened police and security presence on this historic Election Day. Adrian Bankert, ABC News, New York.
And I'm Kenneth Moten with the Clinton campaign, a woman on the cusp of history, standing with this nation's first black president in front of thousands in the birthplace of the nation, Philadelphia.
I will be a president for all Americans.
Meanwhile, Vice President Joe Biden making one last push for Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton.
We always overcome, and with your help, we will own the finish line in the 21st century.
Biden speaking to hundreds on Florida A&M University's campus just yesterday. This was actually the vice president's second trip to Tallahassee. In August, he was in town for a fundraiser, but yesterday it was all about the election. Biden and his wife, Dr. Jill, encouraged the crowd to vote and get others to the polls. He emphasized ways Hillary Clinton will continue the work he and President Obama have done. He also said if Donald Trump is elected, issues like health care, equal rights for women and minorities, and national security will be compromised. He's urging everyone, especially students, to get out and vote.
Anytime you have 3 major colleges, 2 major universities in one little area, you have a lot of voter bases. You have a lot of different backgrounds. So you have students who have traveled from across the country, across the world. They get their education here, as long as a big Tallahassee community. So it's very important to come to Tallahassee and get a vote.
In addition to the Bidens, several speakers addressed the crowd, including Interim University President Larry Robinson, Mayor Andrew Gillum, and congressional candidate Al Lawson. And following early morning voting, local election officials say numbers are looking pretty good.
Of the over 200,000 registered voters in Leon County, nearly half of them have already voted either in person or by mail. Now, the convenience of early voting allows people to vote when they're able to at the location they're closest to at the time, and it counts just the same as if they had waited until Election Day. This record-breaking turnout in early voting means that aside from the first rush at 7 a.m., lines should be minimal when heading to the polls today. For those still in possession of a mail-in ballot, it is important that you do not mail them, but instead take them to a polling location.
We don't want you to mail those mail-in ballots. You can walk them into our office or take them to a voting location and turn them in and vote on a regular ballot. Those are the options that citizens have, but not mailing it is critical because we won't get any of those before the state law says that we have to close the receipt of mail-in ballots, which is 7 p.m. tomorrow.
Beginning at 7 a.m., there will be 90 voting locations around the county. To find your precinct polling location, visit leonvotes.org. And don't forget to stay with us throughout the night for the latest on the election. Join us right here on WTXL ABC 27. We will have complete live coverage both on air and online. Our team will be live across the region and will bring you data and insights from our political contributors on the races.
Plus, at 7, 8, 9, and 10 p.m. tonight, you can catch online election coverage on our website, WTXL.tv.
For now, FSU looking nice and clear. And remember, voting from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Once the clock strikes 7, if you're not in that line, you're out of luck. 5 p.m. temperatures will still be on the mild side in the mid-70s. We'll have more of the full storm team forecast, talking a little bit more about the first half of the election forecast, plus a look at that 7-day outlook. We do have some cooler air on the way. The details coming up in a few minutes. Malcolm.
Let's get rid of Hillary. Okay, that's... Today is our Independence Day.
An America where we build bridges, not walls.
After a neck-and-neck battle throughout the night, Americans have elected Donald Trump as the 45th President of the United States. Good morning. You're watching WTXL Sunrise this Wednesday, November 9th, 2016. I'm Christine Saunders.
And I'm Malcolm Hornsby. Trump earning 278 of the Electoral College votes over Clinton's 218. Vice presidential winner Mike Pence coming out on stage first to announce Trump's victory, calling the night historic. Many battleground states turning red this election, including Florida, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania, contributing to Trump's victory over Clinton. The Republican finally greeting his crowd on stage to thank his supporters, promising to bring Americans together.
America will no longer settle for anything less than the best. We must reclaim our country's destiny and dream big and bold and daring. We have to do that. We're going to dream of things for our country, and beautiful things and successful things once again.
On the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman John Podesta saying Clinton would not be speaking overnight. This coming after he told supporters in the crowd the race was too close to call.
Everybody should head home. You should get some sleep. We'll have more to say tomorrow.
And while Clinton has yet to speak on the election results, officials say the Democratic candidate called Donald Trump to concede.
ABC's Adrian Bankert and Kenneth Moten have more on the presidential election from New York. Taking a look at the Leon County races now for Supervisor of Elections, Superintendent of Schools, and Sheriff.
First, the Supervisor of Elections race between Mark Early and Alan Williams. All precincts are in, and Mark Early has won with 54% of the vote over Williams with 46%.
And now to the Superintendent of Leon County Schools race. Current Superintendent Jackie Pons losing his seat to Rocky Hanna. Hanna won with 54% of the votes. Pons followed behind with 36% of the votes. Forrest Van Camp and Patricia Ann Sunday both taking below 10% of the votes. Hanna saying he's ready to bring change to Leon County classrooms.
Today was payday, and I think our community has spoken. They're ready for a change. They're ready for new leadership. They're ready for someone that's going to return the priorities back to the classroom, and I will do that. You know, I've been on our school system 28 years.
Hanna is the first person to beat a sitting superintendent in almost 20 years.
As for the new Leon County property appraiser, it was a tight race. Aiken Yemi has won with 51% of the votes. That's against Greg Lane, who received 49%.
Finally, for Leon County, the sheriff's race between Tommy Mills, Charles Strickland, Walt McNeil, and Mike Wood. Walt McNeil coming out on top with 47% of the vote. And sticking with the sheriff's race, but moving to Gadsden County.
Incumbent Gadsden County Sheriff Morris Young coming out on top with 66% of the vote there. Following behind is Rodney Moore, Cedric Russ, and Tracy Smith. The closest candidate to Young was Smith with 29% of the votes. Moving to the next superintendent for Gadsden County Schools, Roger Milton took 61% of the votes compared to 39% of votes earned by Elijah Key. Taking a closer look at some of your local elections across Georgia this morning. In Louds County, Democrat Ashley Polk and Republican Chris Prine both vying for sheriff. 57% of the votes are in favor of Polk, and he wins over incumbent Chris Prine, who earned 43% of the votes there. Meanwhile, in Berrien County, 4 candidates fighting for sheriff. Ray Polk led the way with 49% of the vote, followed by Frank Swanson with 27%. And for more local election results, as we've mentioned throughout our newscast, head over to our website, WTXL.tv. Yeah, there you can head to our election page to look up results from the local races of your choice. And coming up after the break, we continue your 2016 election coverage with a look at your big state races from both Florida and Georgia. Plus, we'll be checking in with our political contributors. Stay with us. We're back after the break.
This is not the outcome we wanted or we worked so hard for, and I'm sorry that we did not win this election for the values we share and the vision we hold for our country. Hillary Clinton giving her concession speech just moments ago.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us here on WTXL Midday. I'm Christine Saunders.
And I'm Malcolm Hornsby. Donald Trump taking the stage earlier this morning after Americans elected him as the 45th president of the United States of America.
Donald Trump earning 278 of the Electoral College votes over Hillary Clinton's 218.